a GRC falling to the opposition, right? But for me, I think that will only happen if the Workers' Party were to field a dream team.
There is an old saying in warfare that amateurs deal with strategy, professionals with logistics. This can be extended to an election campaign. Most of those who are in the third voting tier of staunch anti-PAP voters seem to think that elections are simply a matter of putting up candidates opposed to the PAP. Let me just go through a few of the logistical issues involved. First, other than the election deposit, which is equivalent to 1 month of an MP's allowance, which is $13,500, each candidate must have a proposer, a seconder, and 4 assenters who are registered voters in the constituency or GRC they are intending to contest. For a 5-member GRC, that means 30 people plus the 5-member team, all of whom must turn up at the nomination center to file nomination papers in person. There have been occasions when an entire GRC team has either been disqualified or could not file their papers simply because one person of the 30 failed to turn up. Nomination day is a working day, and so the people supporting a candidacy must take time off work. Some of the better organized opposition parties ensure that they have reserves standing by. That is, an alternative proposer, a seconder, and at least 2 assenters, in case some individuals either do not get time off work or get cold feet, all of which are entirely possible. Then, as part of an overall campaign, a candidate or GRC team would require polling agents, an election agent, and a campaign manager, plus many supporters involved in direct canvassing for votes. Then there is the issue of election posters. The well-oiled PAP election machine can get its election posters up in virtually all lampposts in contested wards within 24 hours of the close of nominations. In 2006, one of the better organized opposition parties was able to do so within 36 hours. It was noted on Day 5 of the 2006 election campaign, one of the less organized opposition parties was still struggling to get its posters up. Election posters printed professionally can cost several $1,000s, and that would be much more for GRCs. It would then cost several $1,000s more to get a contractor to display all the posters prominently and in a timely manner. In some, contesting elections can be a costly business. So when people on social media sites implore some of the opposition parties to not let the GRC they are residing in go uncontested, they do not know what they are asking of the opposition parties. And if they ask the opposition parties to field a team in their GRC, are they prepared to do even 5% of what they ask the opposition party to do? And what I have already described. If these people who are asking, indeed demanding change, are not prepared to put aside 9 days to volunteer on the ground with one of the main opposition parties for house visits, distributing flyers, and assisting in organizing rallies during the campaign period, then they should not expect change. When such individuals are asked to make a small contribution of time and energy, the response is one of apathy and indifference, which is still a very marked feature when it comes to politics in Singapore. They expect other people to do the heavy lifting, but they expect and demand change. Just to put things in context, another aspect of logistics involves the contending parties. As a concrete example, a member of an opposition party told me that in the 2006 election, the Workers' Party team that contested in Ang Mo Kio GRC had 50 volunteers during the campaign. On the other hand, he claimed that the PAP team led by the Prime Minister had 2,000 volunteers in that one GRC. This may be an exaggeration, but let's say for one moment that the PAP team had 1,000 volunteers. That would be a 20-to-1 advantage. If I was to use an analogy, I would say on one side you had 50 Spartans, while on the other side you had a legion of 1,000 well-disciplined Roman infantry. The result of the contest would not be in any doubt. But the 50 Spartans put up a hell of a fight and exacted a price on their opponents. The WP team took 1 out of every 3 votes in AMK GRC, despite the fact that Minister Lim Boon Heng had predicted that the Prime Minister's team would take more than 80% of the vote. For those who keep on complaining that the political playing field is not level, it is completely in their hands to make it level. If they are prepared to volunteer their time over 9 days in an opposition party's campaign, then instead of 50 Spartans, you could have 500 Spartans facing down a Roman legion of 1,000. That, in my opinion, would level the playing field, and personally, I will put my money on the 500 Spartans.